Foremost, you got probably the best quarterback in college football you have to contend with. What kind of challenges does he present just by what he does, just personally?
Well, his efficiency, he's throwing a 70% completion rate, which is very rare, and he's very accurate, which goes hand in hand with the percentage, and he just manages the game, and he gets him in the right plays, and he's a threat with his feet as well, if need be, and he's got all the qualities you would hope for in a positive light.
He also has been sacked once and rarely even pressured. Is that the offensive line? Is that him? Is it combination? What's behind that?
System, because they run the ball so effectively. Number one, they condense their formation with their extra tight ends. And then their offensive line. They've probably got 3 NFL football players in that offensive line, not to mention a receiver, a quarterback, and a couple tight ends. So they're as gifted from 1 to 11 on offense as you're going to find anywhere in the country.
So what do?
You line up and you play hard football. You make them execute at a high level by us playing really well, and we have to execute at a high level, and that's what you do.
Defensively, on the other side, they put pressure on you. They have many sacks as anybody in the conference. People have moved the ball a little bit, but nobody seems to get it in the end zone. They've given up 10 points a game. What do they do to put that together?
Well, it's been a combination for them. Their offense is relatively ball control offense, so they limit the opportunities the opposing offenses do just because they control the clock. So there's one reason that makes it hard on offenses, and then they just they're sound. Their players are well coached. They take coaching very well. We talk about neck up kids, and they've got a lot of that to their football team. And you can tell they take coaching and they go out and execute. And they do a great job. Play with great effort on defense. And they're a veteran football team. You look at it, and a lot of players that have a lot of experience throughout their football team that play. So you're dealing with a talented team, but a very, very veteran football team as well.
You got a chance to upset one of the best teams in the country this week.
Mm-hmm.
That's your opportunity.
Yep.
Back when you were playing here, you guys upset the #1 team in the country down in the Rose Bowl. It was a long time ago, but do you remember that game? Do you remember? I talked to Dennis a little bit about it today. He still hasn't forgotten that game.
Yeah.
Does those kind of upsets stick in you as a football player and stay with you the rest of your life?
Absolutely. They're great memories, and you remember moments of the game and flashes, and they're things that stick with you for the rest of your life, and that's why sometimes when you get in these situations, it's a great opportunity and a challenge, obviously, for our football team, but an opportunity to create some great memories.
That's what I got.
Questions on the line?
Yeah, hi, I have a question. This is Nick Gerenius. Paul, does the fact that the Cougars have given up a lot of points in the fourth quarter and the losses, is that keeping you up at night, or is that just kind of the nature of how those games went, and it isn't the kind of thing that concerns you over much?
Well, it concerns you. I mean, we got to look at the reasons, and unfortunately, both those games that we've given up points in the fourth quarter, they were big plays, and that's something we got to grow from. We're by no means a veteran savvy defense, but we do have some experience there. But we need to play better, and we can't give up the big play, and that has been an issue in those 2 games. There's no question, and we've got to grow. Now, I do believe that our defense is showing all the signs of great growth at this point, and we're going to continue to grow.
Shaw's not exactly a guy that's new to the program. Obviously, he's been around in different roles there. Are you seeing any differences this year so far? Any differences at all that stand out from years past with Harbaugh there?
Not really. Schematically, the things are the same. I think the majority of the coaches are all still there in place. A lot of their players, a good number of their players are back from a year ago. So there isn't anything you would say is obviously different.
Hey, Paul, from looking at the stats for Stanford's games this season,
want your team to kind of jump on them early if you get the opportunity?
Absolutely. I mean, I think anybody would want that. You know, in any game, you'd never turn that down, and this would be definitely one of those. And you know, we'll do everything we can to move the ball and score points, and hopefully, you know, we come out and you know, bottom line is we're going to have to make some plays in the defense. You know, we're going to have to be solid against the run, and when they do throw it, we're going to have to make some plays on the ball, and because he's going to throw it accurately. So we're going to have to make some quality plays in the secondary and at linebacker.
The offense has shown a lot of momentum at times, and then, you know, a few problems, a few hiccups there in the red zone. What are you and the staff doing to kind of address that with the team? I mean, how do you fix that?
Well, there's nothing really broken. You know, you look at our games, we've been really good in the red zone, except the last game. And really, if you look at the opportunities we had down there, we misfired on a throw, we dropped the ball. These are all touchdowns. Had a ball in our hands, it got stripped out, and we execute one of those. Games are different. And I don't think you do anything different. We continue to build our game plan like we've been doing, and it still comes back to the players executing the concepts and executing the plays. And you know, that's all. That's the only thing we can do. And when we fix it you know, if we can do that, then we'll score when we're in the red zone next time we're there.
Paul, who's going to start at quarterback?
Well, Marshall Lobostal is because you know Jeff isn't cleared 100% yet in terms of you know physically and you know and his own comfort level until we get a new X-ray, which won't happen until tomorrow evening. And Marshall's our guy.
Are there any more thoughts at all about, and forgive me if this has been asked for, but are there any thoughts at this point about the possibility of redshirting Tool for the rest of the season?
Oh, there's thoughts, but that's just where it is. Those are options. But we just, you know, right now he's just trying to heal, and we'll keep evaluating his progress, you know, as we keep moving forward and kind of see where it sits, you know, once he is healthy, 100%.
Can you talk about what you're seeing out of the team as far as the spirit, the momentum? They've had a great start to the season.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, they've had such good opportunities in the red zone, made the most of many of them just this last game.
Yeah.
What did you see on the team after that when they realized they could have won that game?
I thought in a lot of ways we dominated the football game, and we just lost on the scoreboard. You know, we played you go back and look at it, we played a really good football game. We played hard, we tackled well. You know, we controlled the ball just like we wanted to do. Everything we drew up for the most part in terms of if you're going to diagram how we wanted the game to go, it happened. The thing that we misfired on was a scoring opportunities a couple times when we needed to, and making maybe just one stop on defense. But you look at all the other key things in the ball game. You know, I thought we controlled that darn football game. You know, you win that game 95 out of 100 times, and we didn't, but we're playing good football. We're playing physical football. We're playing high level of energy football. We got a good football team that is youthful and is going to continue to grow.
That's one of the things you do have a youthful team and have for the last couple of years, bringing these guys on board. I guess I'm curious, seeing them develop now. In 1 year's time, what have you seen the most development going on between last year to this year and some of those young players that are making big plays?
Yeah, I think just a little bit more confidence, obviously, because of knowing what they're doing and they know what to expect. We're definitely a lot bigger and more physical than we've been. We're a little bit faster. And I see every phase of our football team much improved. And you know, we can compete against most anybody and without question, and have opportunities to win games in the fourth quarter. And you know, I'm very proud of where we were and where we are today. But we still got to get better this week, and we're going to keep focusing, you know, one day at a time. And but we've come a long ways, and there's a lot of young players learning to play quality football right now, and they got a lot more playing time in front of them for the Cougars.
What about the offensive line? If you were to grade them, I mean, as a guy who you know knows where they're sitting at from that time, how do you grade the line at this point?
They played, you know, this last week they played real well in a lot of ways, considering we had a first-time starter and Dan Spitz in there. And Matt Guess was his second career start in there. played pretty darn well. I really like the raw talent. I've been telling this to people. You know, some of the offensive linemen we've been bringing in here have great upsides, and they're not, you know, seasoned guys yet. Some of them aren't, and then some of the commitments we have, you know, we're bringing in. You know, I've kind of followed Cougar football off and on, obviously, since I got here in 1985. But you count our recruits and some of the guys in our program now. I would be shocked if there was, you know, even ever this close to this much talent and potential in our offensive line. They've got a lot of work to do, but all the signs are there. And I've coached a lot of NFL offensive linemen in my years, and we got a lot of those guys that have that potential if they develop themselves.
Hey, Paul, I'm sorry, I was driving. I might have missed part of your answer about Jeff Toole. So there's still a possibility he could be cleared later this week, and if he is, does that put the starting job in doubt then with Wulff?
No, I don't think that if Jeff is cleared, Marshall's going to start until Jeff would play in games, and when Jeff was really comfortable, then we could move him into that position. But I think you got to go with Marshall all the way until Jeff's performance tells you otherwise, and I think that's what we would go with. But that's not even a decision at this point until obviously Jeff is 100% ready in his mind to go out and contribute and feel he's capable of helping this team.
Competitors always.
So do you think it's more likely that he'd be ready for Oregon State next week?
Oh, I think the longer you wait, he gets more healed, and yes, it's more likely that the next week or the next week he's going to be closer to healing than it is this week.
Do you take into consideration at all, and it's not like you want to throw Lobestall out there to get hurt, but I noticed in the stats that Stanford has 17 sacks this year. Do you take that into consideration at all when you're making your decision?
I think you got to look at that, but I think hopefully we're in a situation where we believe in our quarterbacks that they'll get rid of the ball in time. We believe in our offensive line, which is improving all the time. But no, I don't know that we're going to consider that at this point. And we haven't at this point.
Competitors always want the ball. I'm sure Jeff isn't happy sitting on the sidelines with the injury at this point. What is he telling you at this point as far as how ready he is to go?
He's still sore in certain areas, but he's frustrated like any athlete that is. And unfortunately, this is one of those things he can't control at this point, and none of us can. And he's hoping it heals quick, and that's all he can do. And that's really, there's really not a whole lot more to that than what it is, other than he exhibits a little frustration, obviously, because of his situation.